Coming to you live from an undisclosed location. Here is your host, the one and only Flint Rasmussen.
It is another episode of According to Flint. I don't say welcome to According to Flint because apparently I stumble over that. Welcome to the big studio here on the outskirts of... Where are we on the outskirts? We're on the outskirts of Laurel, Montana. It's supposed to be an undisclosed location, but I think it's time everybody knows. We're on the outskirts of Laurel, Billings, Molt. We're kind of in the Molt area near the Laurel Airport where nothing flies in and out of here. But welcome. Whether you're watching on Pluto, Ride Pass on Pluto, or on our social media, welcome to another week. Not really a quiet week, but an off week for myself. It was the PBR sort of a team competition, the charitable donations of Cowboys for a Cause at the Big King Ranch down there in South Texas. An event that I did not attend this year. It's an optional event for many of us, but always to a great cause. I believe a $50,000 donation made from the King Ranch there in Texas to an organization that then distributed the money to the guys fighting fire down in all of Texas. So always a good event. Boudreaux Campbell, imagine that, is kind of he gets the win. I'm going to be, all right, full disclosure here, complete full disclosure. I know Boudreaux rode real well. Otherwise, I was at a football game. Let's be honest here. But I do know Cowboys for a Cause. That's the one we used to have on the aircraft deck of the aircraft carrier there at Corpus Christi. So still down there in Texas. This week, getting ready to go down to the home of the Carolina Cowboys, the team competition, see how that shapes up, see who will step up now, heading into the second half of the team series competition, leading into the big finals for that down in Las Vegas at T-Mobile Arena. Winston-Salem, North Carolina, home of the Carolina Cowboys. Guys like team owner Richard Childress, the general manager Austin Dillon, who, by the way, during the Austin competition a couple weekends ago, the Carolina Cowboys win the Austin competition at the same time Austin Dillon winning the NASCAR race at the same time. So it's been a while since I've been in Winston-Salem. One picture I did not have, I have a picture of myself along with Danica Patrick at Winston-Salem. Mm-hmm. Winston, in the words of my good friend Richard Jones, she was digging on old Flint. Probably not. Then she dug on Aaron Rodgers and whatever. But the last time I was in the arena there on the campus of Wake Forest University, I was on a movie set / bull riding arena, but a full movie set. That's right, making my cameo next to this guy. It's not it is a cameo. If you're a nobody, you're an extra. But if you're somebody, it's a cameo. That guy right there, see the square jaw, the smoldering eyes. You can see why we became fast friends. That's right. Scott Eastwood and me, we became not really, but we are friends. The movie The Longest Ride, if you remember, from the Nicholas Sparks novel, a timeless love story about kind of two parallel love stories. Alan Alda was in that. He was the old guy that had written love letters to his wife, and they found him. And Britt Robertson and that guy, homely guy, Scott Eastwood. It was a good week there. I spent about 4 days. I know people think movie sets are really exciting, and you just go and you're filming stuff all the time. We sat and we ate. And then the last night we filmed, we started at about 12:30, about midnight, and filmed into the night. But that was, it was about PBR, and they used PBR riders. It was very authentic as far as that went. But Scott Eastwood, he can't do all his stunt work. So a lot of it, you can't expect that from Scott Eastwood, even though he is who he is. So a lot of us stepped in. There were riders that rode as Scott Eastwood. I did some stunt work for Scott Eastwood. There was a scene there where he stripped down and got in the shower, and that was me, actually. And so you might have noticed me there. Anyway, so headed to North Carolina, always a good time there. Flying to Greensboro, make that 45, 50-minute drive to there. So rodeo this past weekend. I mentioned before that the 4th of July weekend is often referred to as Cowboy Christmas. And as far as influential, important rodeos, I think Labor Day is a really pivotal weekend. Not as many rodeos as the 4th of July, but rodeos that see what's happening here now in the next 3-4 weeks. We come to the end of the PRCA, the rodeo season. So to me, this is when it really gets interesting. This is hard to believe, but Stetson Wright had a great weekend. Everybody, whether you're a rodeo guy, PBR guy, there are some cowboys out in the rodeo world that I think we should all know. Stetson Wright, world champion bull rider. He's the world champion all-around cowboy. So far this year, he has won $372,000. I mean, in the rodeo world, that's crazy. Our own Sage Newman, who grew up just north of where we are right now in Melstone, Montana, he already broke the single regular season earnings record in the saddle bronc riding of over $275,000. Watch out in the bareback riding race for a kid named Rocker Steiner. I did one of my buckle things with him. The little, what is he, 19 now or just 18? I think he's only 18. His dad, Sid Steiner, world champion. His grandpa, Bobby, a world champion bull rider. Hey, we could have, for you Montanans, we could have 3 steer wrestlers at the NFR. Ty Erickson's going to be there. Timmy Sparing is on the verge of being there. Bridger Chambers has a little work to do. Anyway, welcome to September, everyone. By the way, I should mention, coming up after the break, Lucas Teodoro, we're going to use a clip from my current podcast that's out and get some really good thoughts from Lucas Teodoro. I will set that up before we take a look, but first of all, let's take a break and a word from our friends at Pendleton Whiskey.
Growing up, you wanted those older cowboys that you admired to someday call you a cowboy. Nobody can tell you can't do that if you want to work at it hard enough. If money's super important, I'm doing the wrong thing, but I kind of got to pinch myself because I truly love what I do. It's amazing what you can accomplish if you don't care who gets the credit. Just make sure it gets taken care of.
Welcome back wherever you're watching. Welcome back to According to Flint. By the way, I should be more specific. I kind of joked that I was at a football game. Boudreaux Campbell with helping the win for the team. The format was teams of 3 guys for each team at Cowboys for a Cause. He helped Team Boot Barn to the victory. So congratulations to Boudreaux. What you saw there at Cowboys for a Cause, it is right in the middle of the team's events here in the team series. So there were a lot of guys maybe you didn't recognize. A few of the main tour riders, but in essence, it gave some of those guys that maybe aren't riding every single week on the teams, gave them a chance to shine a little bit. So good to see that. This week, Window Rock, Arizona, bucking on the res in Window Rock happened this week on Tuesday night, coming up this Friday and Saturday. Kennewick, Washington, kind of an added event last year. Frankly, we went to Pendleton, Oregon for forever. I was there for the very first one in about 1999, 2000 at Happy Canyon. They switched over. They are the Extreme Bulls finals for the PRCA. So no PBR there. So Kennewick, Washington, about an hour down the road, Friday and Saturday. So catch that, a Challenger Series event. My current podcast that is out is with my good friend Lucas Teodoro. And as this show airs for the first time, as you watch it, September 7th is Brazilian Independence Day. They declared their independence from Portugal in, any guesses what year that would have been? Nobody here. No, I didn't know either. 1822. But which Lucas Teodoro, the great Brazilian bullfighter that has been over in the U.S. Turns out, I had no idea for this long, for about 10 years. He's brought his family over here. He wants to keep his family over here. And we had a good hour-long chat. You can check out everything. We post our links on my social media. Check us out on YouTube, According to Flint. We have our own YouTube channel. This was episode, I believe, if you're wondering how many we have done, I believe this was episode number 53. Lucas Teodoro with some great thoughts. We had a similar conversation with Paulo Crimber about what they go through, the Brazilian riders, when they come over here. Lucas Teodoro, quality individual, great bullfighter, pretty funny guy. Enjoy this clip from my podcast with Lucas Teodoro. You know, a few episodes ago, I had Paulo Crimber on here. Interesting guy. Paulo's a good dude. Know what I mean, buddy?
Yeah.
Know what I mean, buddy?
Yeah.
Denner Barbosa imitates him. Know what I mean, buddy?
Yeah, dinner.
But we had a really good talk about the process. He was one of the early Brazilian riders to come over and ride here. And he talked about comparing the process of coming into the country then, where it was just, they were kind of on their own. And now there's a pretty good network of Brazilian riders, yourself, which has really helped and improved the process for you guys. Tell me a little bit about when you decided to come to the U.S., that process. Complicated, scary. What'd you go through coming over to establish yourself here?
Well, Flint, like when I really decided, and I didn't really come by that time, and I had some issues on getting my visa and stuff. But like when I first got in my mind that I wanted to come, I started doing English classes, like there, because to me, the bull riders, they can go anywhere, pay entry fees, and then they're going to ride, Is speaking English or not. But to me, to get a job, I need to be able to talk to people, and that was the deal. So I did classes there for probably 5 years. And then I got to come the first year in December of 2012. And it wasn't that complicated because there was a bunch of guys around already. So I stayed a couple of days at Rubens Barbosa's house until and then JRV, Eduardo, and some other guys came, and we all ran an apartment together, and then we lived together for a couple of months. But those first 2 years, I was back and forth, and so I would come here and stay 3 or 4 months and go back and go there and then work. And then 2015, I decided to stay here. But I think the thing that really helped me was knowing a little about the language, Yeah. I didn't have the language barrier. It wasn't too hard for me.
When it comes down to it, Apollo talked about the same thing, that he encourages all the riders that come over here. If you weren't invited, you're a guest. Nobody invited you. You're a guest.
Yeah,
and
right.
he's a big believer in don't be lazy, learn the language of the country you're in. I found that that interesting. Is it discussed amongst the riders? I mean, I hear you guys talking all the time and I don't know what the hell you're talking about. Are there certain guys that obviously there's certain guys that really want to learn the language? I mean, freaking Jose Vitor Leme is unbelievable how he has learned the language. Is it discussed?
Yeah.
Do guys talk about yes or no on that?
Yes, and some guys doesn't really want to learn, and they use excuse, man, I don't want to stay here. Whenever I be done riding bulls, I'll go back to Brazil, and then I'll say, yeah, but you're here now, and then so the chances of you making more money with sponsorship and stuff, if you speak English, it's better, because who's gonna put their brand on you, and then if you win the event, you can't do an interview, somebody else have to speak for you, and that kind of stuff, and then some are really trying to learn, and then just like Jose, in 1 or 2 years, he was speaking a good English already. So I think it's just a different mentality. I think the younger generation probably gonna do it better, of learning and stuff. And then it's just hard, and then, like, to me, I like to talk to people, like knowing everybody. So I don't think I would still be here if I didn't speak any English, or I don't know if I would have any success too.
I think, and it ties completely into what you said about sponsors, is that the fans want to know everybody. They want to know me and you. They want that, you can hear in crowd responses as they get to know riders. Like Jose has become so popular because they know his personality and his heart because he expresses it so well. And, you look back, Adriano was popular and they got to know him. Guilherme was such a kind guy, and they wouldn't have known that. There's guys, they want to know personalities, and so do I. I've discovered, suddenly I've discovered you're funny. But like Mauricio Moreda, he learned English fast. The guy's freaking hilarious. And how would I know that? You kind of know. But it really, as far as fan interaction, it's a must in that department.
Yeah, I think and also it's a respect for the country too, and sometimes I see American people, I need to learn Portuguese. That's fine, but we need to learn English because we're here, if you go to Brazil, you probably need to learn Portuguese. So that's just the American people, they don't need to. There's a lot of people that try to help, but I think we need to do our part too if you want to live here.
It was a good 56 or so minutes with Lucas Teodoro. It's funny when he talks about language, and we joke all the time that there's somebody that the first word they teach them when they come from Brazil is buddy. Hey, buddy. It's a good bunch of guys. I know that as the PBR keeps going and there's more and more great Brazilian riders come over, the reason they get to come over and they're on the main tour of the PBR is because they're great and they are just really good and they don't really have a plan B. This is it. This is why they come over. Lucas talks a lot. Check it out. As I said, According to Flint, that is my latest podcast. Every other Thursday, we release a podcast. So it was good to talk to Lucas, and it talks a lot about his heroes and his path to fighting bulls in the U.S. and what he wants to do in the future. Good family man, wants to stay right here in the U.S. Hey, we're going to wrap things up right here on According to Flint. Don't go anywhere. Back after this.
As rural Americans, we have a unique understanding of and connection to the land. Whether we ranch, farm, log, or simply recreate, what we do today determines our tomorrow. As stewards of the land, it's our duty to ensure that our children and grandchildren can enjoy the outdoors in a similar manner that was afforded us. Join the Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation and ensure the future of elk, other wildlife, their habitat, and our hunting heritage. Visit rmef.org today.
It's happening. It's September. It is September in Montana. Speaking of that, the Godfather, our man David, who owns this place, is he out killing elk yet? Is he squealing them in a little bit? He's trying. There's nothing like elk hunting in Montana when it's 104 degrees. It's been so hot in Montana. And this past weekend, by the way, I like at the beginning of months to see what the month is. September. Little trivia here. The Romans believed that the month of September, which it's seventh, it's the seventh month. No, it's the ninth month. Where'd they get that? It's the ninth month. Is to believe to be looked after by the god Vulcan. As the god of fire and forge, they therefore expected the month to be associated with fires, volcanic eruptions, and earthquakes. Like I didn't have enough to worry about. That's September. And like I said, Brazilian Independence Day, also September 10th, coming up over the weekend, World Suicide Prevention Day. And I think that's worth mentioning. So look after the people that you think need looking after. Anyway, this weekend, I said, it really has been smoldering hot. Today, as you're watching this show, over 100 again in Billings. Over the weekend, I'm wearing this Gold Rush. If you see my Gold Rush t-shirt, Gold Rush at Montana State University has become a big thing. By the way, big weekend for football in Montana, college football. There were games in Dillon and Butte and Billings and Havre and Missoula, the Montana Grizzlies, who are scary tough again. And my girls, of course, go to Montana State, rodeo there, and coach there. The Gold Rush game, once again, one of the greatest entrances in all of college football, and led out the Montana State Bobcats this weekend, led out on the field by that young lady. The horse's name is Ice Cube. It's my daughter, Paige. Yeah, not the real Ice, not Ice Cube, the rapper. Yeah, I know. I posted, by the way, on social media, something about it, and Paige with Ice Cube leading the team out, and somebody thought Ice Cube, the rapper, was riding on the horse with her, which would have sold more tickets. But there it is. So on behalf of me, enjoy the next 50 seconds of the beginning of a game at Montana State University. I will talk over it. That's right. By the way, the little dark orb, that is me. I got to camp down in the end zone. Why? Sideline pass. Gold Rush. Listen, do you know how many thousands of these t-shirts they sell? And I know there's somebody out there, oh, there's only 20,000 people. That's Montana. Here they come. That's how the team comes out onto the field at Montana State. Paige in the lead. There they are. All rodeo team members on horseback leading the Montana State Bobcats onto the field. Whether you're a fan of Montana State, whatever, I am proud that my girls are a part of a university where the Western lifestyle, the rodeo team, horses, they've really become a fan attraction there. And proud to have my girls as part of that. Paige still on the rodeo team. They start their rodeo season this weekend. They do 5 rodeos in the fall, 5 rodeos in the spring. They start their rodeo weekend this weekend in Cody, Wyoming. All Montana schools except Northwest College based in Wyoming. So that's good luck to all of the teams in the Big Sky region. But every single time, goosebumps there. One of the biggest crowds ever at Bobcat Stadium. And I took my friend Brandon Bates to the Montana State Montana game a few years ago, and he grew up going to Oklahoma games, LSU games. He said it was one of the best atmospheres ever. So congratulations to all the Montana teams that did so well. And a good friend of mine showed up in at the game at Montana State on the sideline. If he gets as many tackles this season playing for the Denver Broncos as he did, as many tackles as he did tackling me on the sidelines of the game, he's going to have a heck of a season. My friend Alex Singleton, former Montana State Bobcat, he played on some practice squads, had a few great years for the Calgary Stampeders, now number 49 and a linebacker for the Denver Broncos, played for the Eagles last year, has made an appearance on our podcast, according to Flint. Why was I on his shoulders? The Simba Camp. They play the whatever the song. And everybody holds babies up. They hold girls up. They hold guys up. Alex thought he should hold me up. So on the shoulders I went. And just for the record, when it was all over, he just bent over and dropped me. I'm lucky to be here alive. So it was great to see my friend Alex Singleton as the NFL kicks off their season this week. Wish good luck to Alex. Everybody, we'll see you in Winston-Salem, North Carolina this week. Team Series, thanks for joining us. See you next time.